So, just for a little bit of context, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, whenever something big like this happens in sports, I think the biggest thing that gets asked is, where were you? I can say that it was, June 21st, I believe it was. And I remember I was getting ready for bed. And I get a text from my dad just saying that Domingo Germain, I believe is how you say his name, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, was about to complete a perfect game. And how, in my dad's entire life, he had never once seen this. And I just turned it on my phone and watched the last 3 innings and got to witness the 24th perfect game in MLB history. It was a very, very cool experience. I can definitely say that. And Caleb, you said you weren't lucky enough to catch it, but I think we can both speak to how incredible it is to see another one of these. Obviously, the last one was in 2012 by Felix Hernandez, I believe.
Yep.
Obviously, just an incredible, incredible thing to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. For me, something that I always compared stuff like this against, I'm going to give another... I've already given him a shout out in one of our past podcasts, but John Boyce has a series on Dave Steve, the pitcher for the Blue Jays, and his quest to get just a no-hitter, and how he was a starting pitcher for so many years in the majors and one of the top ones in the game, and he came so close to getting a no-hitter on multiple occasions and was never able to quite reach that mountaintop. So to see someone get not just a no-hitter but a perfect game, it's incredible, especially since it's been an 11-year wait since the last one.
Yep, for sure. And obviously, it takes an insane amount of skill, and I do not want to take away from that, but it also takes just an absolutely bonkers amount of luck, which you kind of hit on there by just, obviously, you have to get so lucky. I mean, even in this one, I don't remember if it was the 7th or 8th inning, so you're going to have to forgive me on that. But all I remember, the biggest thing, I remember there was 2 batters straight that went to a 3-2 count. And I am, just to be clear, Blue Jays fan, hate the Yankees, have never cheered for the Yankees more in my life watching this game. But I was crapping my pants. I can fully tell you that, because it was terrifying, because obviously one pitch goes sour in either of those 2 at-bats, all gone. You just need such a perfect amount, like, it needs to be a perfect storm for something like this to happen, which is why it's just, I'm so happy I got to see it live. I'm so happy it happened. And, yeah, it's just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's a reason they call it a perfect game. Like, it literally needs everything to break right for you. So there's a reason we haven't seen it for as long as we have, and there's a reason there's such a limited number of them that have even happened in the majors. And even the things that would normally dilute the importance of this, like the fact that it's the Yankees versus the A's, and considering how bad the A's are, like, if you're nitpicking, you can be like, oh, like, it's a little bit lessened because of how bad the team he's playing is. But honestly, it isn't, just because of how big of an achievement this is. No matter what team you're playing, as long as it's another MLB team, like, a perfect game is one of the biggest achievements in sports, and it's one that only, like, a handful of players are able to claim for their entire careers. And so the fact that Domingo Germain, who is not an all-star pitcher by any chance, 5-5 on the year, and I don't think his stats are yeah, he entered the game with a 5.10 ERA, which is not great. He only had 1 complete game before in his professional career, no career shutouts, and obviously those he both eclipsed for the first time. It is a lot of luck, right? Because Domingo Germain is not an all-star guy. He's just another starting pitcher for the Yankees. But it's still incredible to see. And I'm sure incredible to witness, at least the part of it that you did.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And also just another thing to point out how rare of an occasion this was, or this game, or just an accomplishment this was. Another thing, and I'm just reading this now, I do not want to pretend I knew this before, but he also threw what's called a max which I don't know if you know what that is. Maybe I'm just clueless. And for baseball, I'm not the most knowledgeable person in the world. But he threw a shutout in fewer than 100 pitches, which you might not, which isn't crazy necessarily. It's obviously happened before, but doing that in a perfect game is very, very rare. Like even more rare, obviously. As the last person to do it was. Oh wait, never mind. 2012 as well. Philip Humber, 96 pitches. I didn't wait. There were two perfect games in 2012.
There were a lot of perfect games, and I think there was two, maybe even three in 2012,
Really?
which is crazy.
Oh,
That kind of goes to
did
show.
you know that?
Yeah, I knew there.
Right?
I knew there was
Okay.
a lot in 2012. So yeah, there's been 24 perfect games in MLB history. And then we find, yeah, Domingo Germain was the 24th, and then yeah, there was three in 2012. Three in 2012, all within a
Wow.
few months of each other. April of
I feel like I
2012,
should have known that.
June of 2012, and then Felix Hernandez in August of 2012, and then not another one for 11 years. It's
The reason that caught me off guard is because I kind of misread it. Because, like I said, he threw 96 pitches in his. In my head, for some reason, I read that as 1996. But yeah, still an incredible accomplishment by obviously, like you said, not necessarily an all-star pitcher, but like I said, it takes an insane amount of skill and luck. Everything needs to come together just at the right time. And the funny thing is, and I've been seeing this come up every once in a while, he's kind of struggled in his last couple starts since, which is interesting to me at the very least. Just because of the fact that like it really does show you that like it the luck there is such a big luck factor when it comes to this, right?
Yeah, no, there definitely is. Like it's, because you can always have one pitch go awry in the ninth inning when your arm is completely dead and there's not that much left to play for. Just looking at it, you always wonder. I always wonder about that last guy up to bat for the other team. Like, how bad would you feel if you were the one who broke a perfect game for the other pitcher? Like, do you think
That does remind me actually of watching it. Like it was in Oakland, and the Athletics fans in the crowd were cheering for Jermaine or German. I don't know baseball pronunciations. You're gonna have to forgive me for that. But anyway, they were cheering for him, and I was thinking in my head, like you said, last guy up. Like, do you just let him have it?
yeah,
Like he's gotten that far, right? Like what's?
like you
Like, I was
just
thinking
feel.
that to myself.
I feel like you just feel guilty as the batter at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even cause like I said, I was texting with my dad during this, and he pointed out because I pointed out to him that the fans in the crowd were cheering for the Yankees, and he said, "Yeah, of course, it's history." That's what he said to me, and that just kind of sticks out to me because I wonder if the players think about that.
I think they must. Because you really don't want to be the guy who ruins someone's it's kind of a legacy thing too, right? Because nobody remembers the people who
Oh, for sure.
almost had a perfect game.
Yeah. He just solidified himself on a list that only has 24 names.
Yeah.
That's just bonkers. Especially in a sport as old as baseball.
No, it really is. It really is.